If you are an NRI who's selling property in the US, there is one tax rule that could hold you back. That's right, selling a house is usually seen as a happy moment. You find a buyer, you complete the paperwork, the deal is closed. And naturally, you expect the money to arrive in your bank account. But for many NRIs selling property in the US, that's not always how it happens. That's easy. Because before they receive the full amount, a significant portion of the sale proceeds, it may already be withheld. The reason is the US law known as FIRPTA, the Foreign Investment in Real Property Tax Act. Under this particular rule, when certain non-residents sell property in the US, the buyer or the closing agent may be required to withhold part of the sale amount and send it directly to the US government. Here's the important point. The withholding is generally based on the sale price, not necessarily on the actual profit. So that means even if somebody made only a small gain, or in some situations even sold at a loss, the withholding requirement may still apply until the final tax liability is determined. Well, for many sellers, this comes as a complete surprise. Imagine selling a property expecting immediate access to your money, but only to discover that a substantial amount has been withheld. And yes, that's not the end of the story. Some US states have their own withholding requirements, which means additional amount may also be deducted depending on where the property is located. But wait, the good news is that there are legal procedures available in certain cases that may help reduce the withholding if the actual tax liability is expected to be lower. But those steps usually need to be planned before or during the sale process, not after the transaction that has already closed. Here, financial experts say that this is why NRIs planning to sell the US property should coordinate with tax professionals well in advance. Understanding the rules before signing the final documents can make a significant difference to cash flow and avoid any unnecessary delays. Well, lesson here, very simple. Selling a property isn't just real estate transaction. For NRIs, it's also a tax event. And understanding the law before you sell, it could save you both time and money. Over the past few years, remote work completely changed the way people live. Many professionals left expensive cities like San Francisco, Seattle, and New York. They moved to states where rent was lower, homes were bigger, and life was more affordable. But now companies are calling employees back. That's right. For many workers, it sounds like nothing more than another return to office policy. But for some H-1B visa holders, it could become something much bigger. Ladies and gentlemen, according to immigration rules, your approved work location matters. If your H-1B petition was approved for one location and you begin working from another location that falls outside the approved area, your employer may first need to complete additional immigration paperwork before you physically move there. This isn't simply an office policy anymore. It's an immigration compliance issue. Well, many employers assume that if their managers ask them to report to another office, they can simply book a flight and start working there following Monday. But let me remind you here, immigration experts say that that's not always the case. Before relocating, employers may need to file an amended petition and complete a new labor condition application depending on the circumstances. Well, failing to complete these requirements, it can create complication during future immigration processes, including visa extension or maybe green card application. And yes, there's another reality many professionals are now facing. Returning to major tech hubs, it also means returning to higher cost of living. Rent increases, daily expenses go up, in fact, state taxes may be higher, and in many situations, salaries remain exactly the same. So, employees aren't just dealing with legal questions here, they're also dealing with financial pressure. In the meantime, experts advise professionals to verify their approved visa location, speak with their company's immigration team before relocating, and ensure that every required document has been filed before making the move. Because let's be honest, today changing your office address, it may involve much more than changing your daily commute.